Hello everyone and welcome to this week's PS4 O'Clock. I am joined this time by Joel.
Yo.
And Phil.
Hello.
We're going to talk obviously about PS4, but we are now in a position where all three of us have spent a significant amount of time with it. Joel the most, I think. You've spent
quite a lot, yeah.
A day, but we've all
been cradling it.
We've all been playing games, we've all been spending some time with it, some quality time. What are our initial thoughts?
I like it a lot.
You've
really
spent
like
a lot
it.
of time with sort of games.
Well, I spent a lot of time playing Assassin's Creed 4 on it, but I've also spent a lot of time just kind of fiddling with its innards and
yes.
And like the menus and the facial recognition and the voice control, and played loads of demos, and just I've explored the kind of UI a bit more, and it's just really nice. It's all really intuitive and like simple and clean and fun.
Can you explain the facial recognition then? Because that's something that's been sort of mentioned and then never talked about again. But you've actually switched the PS4 on with your face.
With my face, yeah, and not by headbutting it. So you go into the menu and you activate it, and basically a wireframe box comes up on the screen, and you sort of align the camera so your head sits in the wireframe box, and then the box tilts and shifts and turns, and you do that. So it can kind of track your head in 3D, I guess. This only takes about 10 seconds. And then the next time you turn the PS3 off, as long as you turn facial login on, the next time you turn it off and turn it on again, it will basically recognise your face as soon as you walk in shot, and it will also recognise where the pad is, and it draws a little box around them. And then when you pick up the pad, and it comes, so it doesn't log you in if you walk past or something. But if you pick up the pad and it comes into relative proximity to your face, then you're straight in there. Yeah. Obviously, it doesn't work if you only have one user, because that'll just log you straight in. So you have to have more than one user. But I was quite pathetically bowled over by it, to be honest. I thought it was amazing. I just kept switching it off and switching it on again.
What about all the menus and stuff? I mean, you're saying it's really quick, nothing switched off. It's
the menus are great. It's XMB. It's like XMB meets Windows 8 and less shit than that sounds. It's big tiles, basically, big chunky tiles, but tiles that scroll left to right, and then have like a cascading set of tiles underneath them, so a bit like an XMB.
We did see it, we saw it at Gamescom, wasn't it? Yost was, Shuya Yoshida, I should say, was flicking around. Yeah,
so I mean, you know what you're expecting. So you have the big tile which represents the game, and you can basically play the game via that, but then down beneath it we'll have things like the Killzone multiplayer section, so you don't have to go into the main game, you can just go straight into multiplayer. You can kind of watch what your friends are doing on leaderboards, or videos that are being shared and stuff like that. So that all lives in a little column underneath the main game, and then the games are strung along left to right, and then up above the top of the screen, as it were, is your old sort of XMB menus like settings and stuff like that. So you flick up you tap up and it kind of jumps you up to above where the natural boundaries of the screen are, and then it's all up there, so it's kind of hidden away.
Cool. And Phil, what do you think of it so far?
I am also very pro, unsurprisingly. I sit
do you
in
mean pro as in you know what you're doing, or pro as in you agree with this?
I am in agreement with this. I wouldn't say I was a pro yet. I haven't had a whole lot of time to mess around with its innards, as Joel so charismatically put it. I was in a bit of a rush to get through as much COD as I could. The controller I fell in love with pretty much instantly when you feel that weight in your hands. The
sprungosity.
The sprungosity, I think, is the scientific term of the triggers. Is fantastic.
Yeah, that's really good.
I'm intrigued by the sort of the using the camera to log in and everything, because at first it looks as if maybe it's going to be a faff to press the on button. It's indented in the middle, isn't it?
The thing is, as long as you're you don't sort of press it, you just sort of rub your finger kind of slightly.
Yeah. Well, I never even do that. I just use the pad.
Yeah, you just press.
Well, there's the pad,
the PS pad, and PS button, and it just blinks into life.
There is that, and it's actually not. It's not a faff. It just looks like the first time.
It is weird though. It's so flush on the box. You don't know how you can push it. It doesn't move.
Yeah.
There's no give.
I think it's the same as the old sort of fat PS3s, isn't it? Where it's you just have to touch it.
Yeah.
Because I was sort of trying to press it, and there is literally no recess or anything to press into. You just sort of stroke your finger,
just rub it, and it gets warmed up.
Sort of pulses into life. That's going on.
Yeah, and I was really peering into that disk drive to make sure it was actually a disk drive. I just didn't believe that it was in there. It was really hidden away.
The controller's amazing to spend some time with. Having sort of tried a few demos here and there and played it for an hour or so, when you actually sit down and play a full game for a long time. So I played a lot of Killzone. You played COD. You played Battlefield.
Yeah,
it
there's an interesting thing in it, and I found this out when I started playing Assassins, and I held down the normal buttons to run, and I realised that they didn't work anymore because the developers have now moved them onto the triggers.
Oh.
And that's happened with a lot of the shooters as well, is that basically this is developers admitting that the old pad was a bit guff when it came to triggers, because L1 and R1 used to be aim and shoot, and like free run in Assassins used to be R1, is it R1, L1? R1. Whereas now all of that's on the R2 and L2 because they actually work properly this time. So in a way it's really good, and in a way it's also them going, it wasn't very good last time, which it wasn't, to be fair.
No.
Like a new pad would kind of have some tension to it, but after a couple of months those trigger buttons were flaccid as something or other.
These do feel like they're quite solidly built, like, and they fit in your hand so well, because I'm sort of trying to remember now if I even sort of sense the triggers moving at all. It was just shooting was happening on screen.
Yeah.
I was sending signals down my wrist.
The shape's really nice as well.
Yeah.
Phil, you had a scandalous assertion about degrading analog nubs.
I think this is going to be akin to the Formula 1 tyre scandal of this year. On maybe 2 or 3 controllers at the COD review event I was at, the left analog stick rubber was starting to wear out to a level where there was like an actual flap of rubber that had come loose. So watch out for that.
That's remarkable, because like I said to you at the time, I played Assassins for 30 plus hours, and that nothing like that ever happened.
You're notoriously like thumb
unless the PRs were surreptitiously swapping new pads in every time I looked away. I think you played with some acidic thumbed COD players.
I think it's a COD player prerogative to just be a bit rougher on the
Maybe.
pad.
Be interesting to see. That would be bad if that is a thing, but I don't see it.
It's probably easily quite fixable as well after the first run of. I was quite surprised that the touchpad also presses in
Clicky,
and works as like the start button effectively.
I'm amazed how sort of sensitive it is, because playing Killzone, you obviously flick up, down, left, and right to switch the owl around, and the amount of times I just caught like the barest glance, like in the heat of battle and everything going off, and just kissed the touchpad, and it went, all right, fine. And
if anything, it's too sensitive. Like, you use it in Assassins to zoom in and out of the map like you would on a smartphone.
Is that, so you like
use your
pinching
thumbs
and
to sort of
stretching?
pinch, but with about 2 millimeters of thumb travel, you've gone from outer space to up someone's nostril. Basically, it's like hysterical.
It's a ridiculous resolution, isn't it? It's something like 1920 by 700 and something resolution. So like,
if you think the touchpad,
so that resolution is like the size of a normal sort of TV screen.
Yeah, see, that's probably unnecessary. But it does work quite nicely for things like setting waypoints and like scrolling maps. And the owl in Killzone's really fun actually to use with it.
I love the owl. You get really attached to the owl because it never lets you down. You never have like sort of find on some modern games with the AI, like, where's he? Oh, he's stuck on the wall, you know.
It's like an Aesop's Fables. The owl never lets you down.
But you get that, don't you? Sometimes you have a squad member that gets stuck behind a wall, or decides that the best way to attack the enemy is run off in the opposite direction. The owl just did everything. I mean, they cheat a bit, because if it does find anything between it and where you sent it, it kind of teleports.
Oh, right,
but you don't sort of really mind, because you go attack those people and it does, and it comes back, and you almost sort of want to pat it on the head as it goes past. Well done.
Yeah.
So what do we think of the games then? So I've spent most time with Killzone, which I thought is amazing. It looks lovely. The guns are like so loud and so sort of scary, some of them, and it just messes with your head sometimes. You walk into an area and it goes, look at what we can do now, and you just see this incredible thing like city or whatever open up in front of you.
Yeah, and I loved Assassins in a similar way. Like, mechanically and structurally, there's still some of the old Assassins flaws in there. But again, it does that amazing thing where it goes, the world is huge. I have no idea how big it is in comparison to other open world games, but it seems enormous. Like, it seems bigger than like GTA. It might not be, but it seems that big.
I think it's the fact that you can see stuff clearly, and it's not just like a kind of level of distancing where you can see a version of what's in the distance.
No, you can see it,
what's in the distance.
And it's always like flawlessly beautiful. So that was really good. And then I've played loads of other stuff in sort of bits. Like, I've played Contrast, which is the free game you're going to get instead of Drive Club, and that's good. Nice and sort of film noir, kind of fun. It made me laugh. I've played more of Knack, which has come a long way since E3. I have to give it credit. I was really critical of Knack after I played it for the first time. It's a lot more in there now. And it's more of like a hardcore platformer than I was expecting. So if you get hit twice, you're dead, basically, which it doesn't look like that kind of game. So that was good. Played Flower, which is Flower. Ho-Hokum, no idea what's happening there. Looks perfectly pleasant, but totally off the wall.
It looks like it's really channeling the sort of spirit of Kita Takahashi, like
absolutely.
Katamari Damacy, Nobby Nobby Boy.
This makes less sense than either of those. What else have I played?
You've basically just done it all.
I've basically played all of the sort of day one indie stuff.
I've played like a few games.
I've played Drive Club, which is Yeah, it's all right. I wouldn't lament the fact that you're not going to be seeing it for a few months too much.
Not big on drive games anyway.
No,
so.
I think maybe that's it. I've played a bit of Killzone and a bit of Watch Dogs as well. So yeah, I've played a lot of stuff, and it's all shaping up really nicely.
And you've Phil.
I'm COD and FIFA. I'm absolutely mainstream gamer.
FIFA. Then what's the difference between like PS3 FIFA and PS4 FIFA?
Well, it looks mega high res. I wonder if I was playing it on a 4K TV because I couldn't believe my eyes. It's so high res.
No, I've played it on normal TVs and it looks really good.
And it looks that good as well. There are subtle changes.
Yeah.
There are just more animations in there, aren't there?
Yeah, there's 10 times as many animations, which for a football game makes quite a big difference.
What about all the... Is it the headers that are overpowered or something everyone's getting really sad about?
They patched that, it's fine now. They patched that on PS3 as well. It's loads of little things like ball boys and crowds and stuff like that, which sort of don't matter that much on pitch, but like they add to the overall atmosphere. And yeah, the animations do actually make quite a big difference when you're playing the game.
COD I love in a different way to the way you guys
really
love.
I'm surprised how much
It's
you
interesting
love.
with
really
stuff
enjoy
like
COD, but
Battlefield because it is just the same game with a shiny next gen like skin Hannibal Lecter style just pulled
But
over
the weird thing
body.
is, you said the skin isn't that shiny, but the actual the organs are
Yeah,
tasty.
this is it. Some people
has gone well.
have really lambasted it for being a sort of greatest hits of COD. I really like it because it's a greatest hits of COD, and it is quite self-aware and it's very silly. I'm talking the single player here. The multiplayer is excellent as well, and I can't wait until I'm sort of half tempted to play it on PS3, but it's 6v6 as opposed to 9v9.
I reckon you won't know the answer to this, does your ranking and whatnot persist from
Yes.
PS3? It does.
Yeah, it all carries over.
Hey.
So if you do the
So you could
digital
start
upgrade program and buy the PS3 copy now, you'll be able to get the PS4 copy for a tenner, and all your stats and rankings will carry over.
Yeah, because that's the same with FIFA. Like I've up ranked quite a bit in FIFA, but that'll carry over as well. Yeah, I'm really torn between. I'm going to get a PS4 with FIFA and either Killzone or COD, and I really don't know. It's like you guys are sat on my shoulders, both of you chirping in there. So I think I'm leaning towards COD, I have to say. But Killzone looks nice enough that I want Killzone, but COD will probably be more fun online for me. I don't think it's necessarily better online. It just appeals more to me online.
I was surprised how good. Well, Killzone's always good online.
Killzone is always good online. Really good.
It feels more like it's something you can sort of enter into this year, even if you haven't played for a while. Whereas COD, I think, just savage the beginners that want to give it a try. Whereas Killzone feels more accepting.
There's something about COD online that I find just really compelling. There's something about the way the numbers pop up and like the unlocks and stuff. There's just something.
Guitar that plays
there's just something about it that I just really like. So I don't know. It'll be one of the two though.
Cool. Okay, well, I'm most excited about Killzone because that's the one I played the most, and it looks lovely. You are
Assassins or FIFA probably.
And Phil.
I played a lot of COD. I like it. I need to play more stuff.
Like if it's not,
played
just say it's not. Don't worry, man.
It's not.
And we got so the US launch is next week, which will be exciting. I'm going to be doing obviously something special for that. Hopefully, if you want to find out more, leave a comment, and we'll speak to you guys later.